and making tackles, making plays. It was good to see our defense. I know some people say it's just Cincinnati and they say Cincinnati's, offensive line is supposedly working on it. But it was good to see them do what they needed. Skill. He made some mistakes. You gotta shake off the butterflies. But he had some good moves too. He covered his fumble. He showed mobility. He had an interception, but he was pushed. But he had a couple penalties where that was nerve. But I think overall they did pretty good. Could have been a wider margin of victory, but I'll take three.
Okay. Hey, you know what? I'm sorry. I need to go back one step. I actually made a mistake. We didn't go live initially. We just went live right in the middle of your commentary. But I'd like to welcome everybody who tuned in today to Bears Banner. Alongside of me today is Keith Flournoy and Tammy Harris. Jaye Moore, who's bowling right now, and
Yeah,
Jaye
exactly.
Jaye Beasley, who's at Soldier Field. So, hey, Jay, can you recap what you said earlier? Because I'm sorry, the live audience didn't hear what you said about Soldier Field.
Yeah, I was just saying it's just good to be back. It's just good to be back after a year. You have a camaraderie with the people that you're around, in your seats and as well as in the state in our parking lot where we tailgate at. So it was just good to see people, and everybody was so gung ho to just be back, and to celebrate, and with a Bears victory, it's even better. It's even better. So yeah. So it was, man. This has been a good thing. This has been a good thing, man.
Yeah, hey, nothing like a victory. I was so excited about this victory. I had got to hit go live, and we had started talking. But nothing like a victory on Sunday. The Bears win this game 20-17. And I was looking at some of the stat lines in this game. It was a very interesting game. The Bengals had 248 total yards. The Bears had 206 total yards. The Bengals had 4 turnovers as far as they turned the ball over 4 times. The Bears had 1 turnover. And the Bears had a awesome stat right here. 5 sacks and 3 picks. And the interesting thing about those 3 picks, for those who missed the game, it was 3 back-to-back picks. I mean, 3 straight plays, 3 straight picks. I mean, that was awesome. I mean,
back to back. Yep.
Yep. Hey, so Plank, I know you've been a defensive guy. You've been trying to hold the defense down. What's your take on the defense performance today?
Oh my goodness, they were overpowering today. This was what I remember from Bears defensive of old. Roquan Smith, I'd have to give him an MVP because not only did he get a sack, but he got an interception and ran it back and took it to the house. So I don't know that you can do a whole lot better than that. Also, hats off to Jalen Johnson. He got his first pick, but he was actually a defensive force on that corner. He's clearly the best cornerback that we have, but he definitely brought it to the table today. So I got hats off to him. Eddie Jackson, he can't get out his own way, and so he did get a tackle for loss, and he actually forced a fumble, but he also tackled his teammate on a very important play later in the game. So he either ain't gonna tackle nobody or he tackling people in the stands too. I can't figure him out.
Right. Hey, so one of our viewers were just as close as you, Tammy. Andre, he had he predicted 21-27. So
good job, Andre. Okay,
great job. So hey, let's jump to the first question. I know guys having a little problem staying connected. How did the Bears pull this off today? I'll go first on this. The Bears pulled this off because we saw awesome defensive play by the Bears defense. They got after the quarterback. I mean, not only they sacked him, he was under pressure all day. The corners played a pretty decent game. They had some knockdown passes. It wasn't really no busted coverages. They contained them. They confused Joe Barrows. That's how the Bears pulled this off today. Hey, Jay, how did the Bears pull it off today?
Like you said, great defense. Great defense. Anytime you get takeaways and you score on your takeaways, it makes for a better game. So they actually came prepared, like I said Friday, you know, that defensive effort that we saw against the Rams was anomaly. And they actually came to play today. They put pressure on the quarterback and they had takeaways. The takeaways are big. When you score on takeaways, it makes a difference. It makes a difference. So yeah, so they was supposed to today. They was supposed to today. I mean, although the score wound up being 20-17, it really don't indicate actually how the game went. So yeah,
Okay.
a ferocious defense and as Blake called him back, naggy, but we will say that for another time.
Okay. Yeah, I know. Jay might have been a little choppy since he's at Soldier Field. Basically, he was saying the Bears played great defense for those who really didn't quite catch what he was saying. And he said not only did they take it away, they actually scored on defense. Plank, how did Bears pull this off today?
Uh, luck of the skin of our teeth. So I think we did very well from an offensive standpoint, even just from a tempo. I mean, this kind of gave you an idea how tempo is really important, even in the first half. We're only up 7-0, but it seemed like we were up much more because we were controlling the line of scrimmage. We were running the ball pretty decently, and Andy Dalton brought them old man legs out and actually got a couple first downs with his legs. He must have been a little bit intimidated by Justin Fields' presence. I don't understand how exactly he hurt himself running, but that's what happens. We ain't as fast as we used to be when we get to be a little bit older. But Andy Dalton actually did a good job in that first half, and Justin Fields came in for the save.
Hey,
Okay.
can I just chime in real quick? Andy Dalton didn't hurt himself. Andy Dalton didn't hurt himself.
I
Andy
believe you.
Dalton came out. Andy Dalton came out at halftime, and we sit on the Bears sideline, so we actually get to see what's going on the field. Andy Dalton walked up to Justin Fields right before the second half started, and he walked up to him and he hugged him. Was like, okay, bro, this your team. That's it. The Andy Dalton experience is over in Chicago. I can almost guarantee you that Justin Fields will start next week against the Cleveland Browns. It's over. It's over. It's a done deal.
Okay. Hey, Jay. Not Jay, but Guy. How did the Bears pull this off today?
They beat a team that they were supposed to beat. I mean, I saw a lot of bright spots. Mustafa and who else is that? Is 68 offensive linemen. They're getting beat like Rachel today.
Daniel.
So guys need to kind of step up and do that thing on the offensive line. They beat the team. I'm impressed. I'm happy that they won, but I'm not as impressed as a lot of people are. Because they're supposed to beat these dudes. I saw the game last week with them with Minnesota. Wasn't impressed. We could have done a lot more. I'll take it. It's a W. A W is a W. But I would feel better if we made mistakes and we win or lose and Justin Fields in there because you can accept it like rookie aches and pains. And we did pretty good, but like Jay said, I hope what you think is true because Justin needs it. He needs to start because they totally changed the moxie, the whole outlook on the offensive side and the defensive side seems like, wait, we got to guard a quarterback that not only has a cannon for an arm, but 4-4 speed too. So you got an extra running back and a receiver on the field at all times with him back there. So, not impressed, but I'm happy they won.
Okay. Hey, Tammy, how did the Bears pull this off?
Well, obviously, per my text that I sent in our group text, that Andy Dalton being hurt might be about the game for them to play safe, to get Fields in. I think that could be a possibility. But I'll say that overall, I think we looked pretty good. I think we saw glimpses of what we can be. There were some mistakes. There were some BS calls. Um, you know, uh, Allen Robinson should have had that. Allen Robinson should have had that catch. That Cole Komet call was BS. That taunting call, I know y'all say just play the game. You should set up. That's BS too. Let them play. Like, just come on. That was weak. But the defense showed up. I'm like the defense. I think lit a spark for the offensive side, even in the second half. And I think that helps. And I don't know if Justin Fields coming in actually motivated the defense. I don't know what motivated the defense, but they seem to help fuel the game and help drive the momentum. I mean, offensively, they did enough, but they definitely could have done more because we should have had at least 2 more touchdowns. But they did enough, and the defense was great today, except Shelley.
We actually said sitting in the stands, we was like, man, this game should actually be 17-0 because
Good.
the Bears scored some big opportunities on offense. But I mean, like again, we'll take the win. We'll take the win. But they squandered some opportunities. There's a lot of work to be done, and I just want to know what'll happen if Justin Fields get the first team rep this week in practice.
Jay, so I'm actually doing
and then we'll see what happens. But yeah, there's some opportunities. But again, it's a win. It's a win that we'll take it.
Okay. Hey, y'all just brought up a valid point. I guess I'll make that the next question, and we could go back to the defense. Is this Justin Fields' time? I mean, Jay, you mentioned a conversation that took place on the sideline, but we'll come back to that. But guy, look like you got somebody next to you who wants to. Is that Rod? Is that Rod?
Yeah.
Hey, Rod, what you got? Is this Justin Fields' time?
Is it Justin Fields' time? There you go.
He said,
yeah. I'll be right back up.
And it's hard to get in a rhythm when you're putting the game and you haven't practiced with any of the people that you're playing with. So, a large part of what was happening all year is Justin Fields did not get to practice with the starters. So that's why you got the discontinuity with him trying to throw the ball to Anthony Mooney, and AR actually dropped a touchdown pass as well, only because they weren't used to his cadence. They weren't used to playing with Justin Fields. Hopefully that's some things that we can shore up this week and have a much better showing out against Cleveland next week.
Okay. Hey, I see Dino. Hey, welcome back, Dino.
Hey, Dino.
The offense was pretty stagnant in the second half. The defense was key. Tammy, is it Justin Fields' time?
I think it's Justin Fields' time. I think he just has to shake off some of his nerves. He was a little anxious, jumped a few times, barely flinched one time and called it. I thought that was fun. I was like, come on. But, he just has to work out some nerves. Like he said, get in the rhythm with the starters. I know he sounds pretty good come up there and say that it ain't his time, but Tim Hollywood is wrong 90% of the time. We don't get to do it. Because he's wrong. But I think it's absolutely his time. I think that shit nerves. Next week is going to be a tough game. But, let him take off the nerves so that he's ready 4 games down.
Okay. Hey, Tammy, it sounds like you have some background noise going on.
That's not me.
That's not you? Okay.
I don't think it's Tammy. I think it's Jay.
Yep.
Hey, I'm the part of everybody playing music and celebrating and all that good stuff. So that might be me.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna mute you for a minute, Jay. There we go.
Yeah, we got Dino always in here dropping dimes, so we appreciate that, Dino.
Hey, guy. Is it Justin Fields' time?
Absolutely. Like I said, he changes the whole dynamic of their squad when he's in. I mean, just like I said before, when Plankton come on the series before and he came on earlier, he was talking to us, and I went back and looked at the tape. It's like the whole defense, when he walks out there, they have this look like, oh, here we go. So he actually adds a dynamic without adding a dynamic, but it's definitely his time because I see that when he's there, he creates more opportunities. There's no disrespect to Andy Dalton, but like I said, he's like a Steve DeBerg type. He's not going to really mess up a lot of stuff, but by the same token, he's going to be consistent, but he's not going to be like over the top. I think we need Justin to go ahead to get in and do our thing. So, Justin, number one, let's do it. Get him in there. Let's go ahead and complete this season and get to the playoffs.
Hey, I agree. Guy. It is his time. I'm going to come back to Jay in a minute. I agree with one of our viewers, Zeb, who says his throws were right on point. The receivers just didn't come up. I was laughing on our text messages. I said, you hardly ever see Allen Robinson drop a pass like that. But guess what? The ball actually came where it was supposed to. It hit him in the hand, hit him in stride. Mooney dropped a couple. Hey, they got to get used to a quarterback actually throwing the ball where it's supposed to be.
Hey, Bernard, you know what I wanted to bring out? When's the last time that we saw a Bears game where we had the victory formation at the end of the game?
Ooh, yeah.
You think about it, that first down that Justin Fields ran for at the end was huge as far as sealing that game up. So, hat's got to go off to the young man. I know it looked a little bumpy. It wasn't pretty, but I'll take the W.
Okay. Hey, what you got, Jay? Yeah, actually, you saw an exchange. I don't know if we was able to get it online earlier. Andy Dalton talking to Justin Fields. But what's your opinion? Is it Justin Fields' time?
Yeah, it's Justin Fields' time. I told you it was Justin Fields' time in week 1. But today was the day that I saw him come out at halftime, and Justin Fields hugged. I'm sorry. Andy Dalton hugged Justin Fields on the sideline right before he went out, and was like, "Okay, you know what? That's it for me. That's it. I'm QB number 2 now. It's your time to take over." And it is his time. It is his time. Like I said, a little bumpy, but we'll love to see what happens when he practiced all week with the first team and go in as a starter against the Cleveland Browns next week.
Okay, that's a valid point. Looking at today's games, other than the defensive performance, this game did get a little tense near the end, and one of the reasons was the offense not really doing anything as far as scoring. And sometimes when a team scores easily on their first possession, I always kind of notice this in the NFL sometimes. Some teams, when they score easily on their first drive, I don't know why some teams act like the game is over and that the rest of the game is going to be easy. And that's kind of the feel I almost got from the Bears today. After that first drive, you clearly could see that they could dominate this team, but it's kind of like they just kind of went to sleep because they was getting enough stops on defense. But offensively, you can see what can happen. Even though you got 3 interceptions and 5 sacks, if you don't continue to score, all it takes is one mistake if you let a team hangs around. And if Justin doesn't run that third down play, they call a timeout and maybe getting the ball back with about a minute and 50 seconds with I maybe think one timeout left or something like that. But what you got, Jay, as far as that? I see Andre said it was an ugly win.
It was an ugly win because, Justin threw the pick and then they scored on the next play. So we went, the atmosphere in the stadium went like, oh, here we go again. But in the end, they pulled it out. But again, the defense, they gave up some plays in the end. And this game should have been 17-0 at halftime, and it should have been like 31-3 after the third quarter. But it's the stuff they need to work on. And to quote Matt Nagy, we gonna clean up some stuff. we gonna clean up some stuff, and we'll be better next week. So like I said, with Justin Fields, to me, as I saw it on the sideline, him being crowned the starter now. We'll see next week after he get a week. And with the starters and everything. And the Cleveland Browns next week, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Okay. Hey, let's move to the scores, the bragging rights from the game. Uh, Tammy had the Bears, so she get her first W of the year.
Good
Jay
job.
had the Bears, he gets his first W of the year.
Good job.
I had the Bengals. I get my first L. The
Yeah,
loser.
you did.
Bad
Plank,
job.
yep. Guy got his first W for the year. He had the Bears. Plank get his first L. He loser today.
I'll take it.
He had the Bengals, and Quick get his first L for the year. Now, hey, let's get to the offense. How do you grade the offense today? I'll start off. It's going to be kind of mixed for me today with the offense. As far as grade, it's probably a C- as an offense. But the positives I saw out of the offense was the offensive line looked good to me today. They blocked in the running game. Even though there was some sacks that were given up, but some of those were just products of maybe holding on the ball a little bit long. And also, there was some consistency in the running game. I can't remember what was the total stats, but please stop putting Damian Williams in the game. Let Montgomery run the ball. And I think a full week of practice with Justin Fields behind center and like Plank alluded to, you had a couple of false starts and they were on him. But some of that is because the team are not used to your caters, or when you start calling an audible, it's throwing them off. So, and it's throwing you off because you're telling him to snap the ball, but the center doesn't know that's what you're saying, maybe because why? You haven't had enough time together. But so offense, I'll get an offense a C. I'm about to bring Guy back in, but hey, Tammy, what'd you get an offense?
I'll probably give him a C too. I know we always talk about my guy. Y'all know I love running backs, but he actually found a spin move. I was so excited. I was so excited. I was like, he did it. But I think the run game was pretty good. The receivers just made too many mistakes as far as catches that were catchable, missing catches that were catchable. And the game actually could have been, not nearly as close as it was. We could have had a little bit more breathing room at the end. You're right. You're right about like the cadence. They have to get used to Justin, and he has to shake off his nerves. But I think there's a lot. And the offensive line was solid. They gave him time to throw the ball. I think there's a lot of potential, there. I think we got a lot of good stuff to work with, and I'm excited. And I think that we can go so much further, with Justin Fields. And I say the first game, I knew they were going to play Andy Dalton because they wanted to, keep their word. Now let's move on and see what we can make happen. And I think it could be an exciting year.
Okay. Hey, one of our viewers, Ed Hop, said they had some big drops today. What you got, Jay?
Okay, I was gonna say because I'm gonna wind up dropping off because we get ready to leave here.
Okay.
But as far as grading the offense, I want to say I'll give them a C as well. It was just again a lot of darts thrown at the board where Nagy didn't stay in the rhythm. The run game was key, and he didn't feed the beast like he should have. But outside of that, I give him a C. And they had a lot of drops today. They had a few drops today. But like I say, I think that'll be cleaned up with Justin Fields being able to run with the first team in practice and get their camaraderie, get the cadence down, and all that stuff. So I give him a C.
Okay. Hey, let's pull up that right quick before you chime in, Guy. Let's pull up.
Okay, y'all gonna drop off.
You about to drop off? Okay.
Y'all want to go home. All right,
hey,
y'all
Plank, can you bring up? Okay, peace, Jay. Hey, Plank, can you bring in the game stats?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Let's see. I'll have to bring them in a second.
Okay. Hey, Guy, how do you grade the offense?
I gotta give him a C plus. I think a lot of these receivers, unfortunately, are so used to getting balls that are thrown outside of where the ball is supposed to be thrown. I think most of them are more shell shocked than anything else. Like, wait a minute, is it really here? Got to get him maybe a C plus. I get a defense a B minus. Special teams, I'd give like a C plus. Coaching, let's see.
Oh my God. Okay. All right.
Well, what about you, Plank? How you grade the offense?
Grading the offense today. I'm giving the offense a D.
Okay.
First of all, the offense scored 10 points. The other 10 points were attributed to a pick six by the defense, and the defense put them in field goal position as soon as they recovered the ball. You can't, it's still a team game, but you can't turn around and say the offense did well. They gave up quite a number of sacks. I'm going to actually agree with Dino as well. Justin Fields actually came out with a fumble and an interception, which is not a function of whether or not he had first team reps or what have you. So from an offensive standpoint, I'm sorry.
Okay. Go ahead, Plank.
I'm sorry, that was Guy. So yeah, that offense didn't really have a good flow. The number of penalties that were actually called on offense weren't to our advantage either. So I'm gonna have to give the offense a D on that.
You're a little hard on them.
Let's see if what I was saying was incorrect though.
Yeah, Plank. I was close to giving them a D. I gave them a C minus. I thought the offense was primarily the reason why the Bengals had a chance to almost pull this off at the end, because offense was not doing anything with it. But let's pull up some of the game stats and so we could kind of see what was going on here. Hold on, let's add this in. And there we go. Okay, I don't know if anybody can read this, but let me pull out my glasses because that's a little bright. So what we have was Joe Burrows had 19 attempts, 30 attempts, 19 completions for 207 yards. His average attempt was 6.9. He had 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. He was sacked. Actually, it shows here he was sacked 4 times, but I think it might have been 5 in the game. Joe Mixon had 20 carries, 69 yards, 3.5 yards a carry. The Bears defense did a great job on Joe Mixon. For the Chicago Bears offensively, Andy Dalton was 9 of 11, 56 yards, 5.1 yard per attempt, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. Justin Fields, 6 of 13, 60 yards, 4.6 average, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. In the running game, David Montgomery had 20 carries, 61 yards, 3.1 average. His longest was 11 yards. Justin Fields had 10 carries, 31 yards. Damian Williams had 2 carries, 6 yards. Andy Dalton, 2 carries, 25 yards. The Bears do need to do a little bit better running the ball than what they did today. They had 34 attempts, and 12 were by the quarterbacks out of 34 attempts. So you got to do a little bit better than that, mixing that running back in there. As far as the passing game, the Bears only had 83 yards passing the ball today. So that definitely is a defensive performance, because if you throw for 83 yards, this is not the 1970s where you'll win a game with 83 yards passing.
Right.
So what y'all got on that? Anything on those stats that stand out to you, Tammy?
Your quarterback shouldn't combine for total run yard as your running back. Was it 25 and 20 something else? Almost as much as Montgomery.
He had a half of carries. He had the quarterbacks had 12 carries. Montgomery had 20.
Yeah, when we were texting a couple of times, I was like, why is Damian Williams in there? Like, Montgomery could have had a better game, like than what they allowed him to have, So I saw opportunities where Williams was in there, where if Montgomery was in there, we could have made something happen. I also think like when they did the quarterback sneak, I felt like they should have gone to Montgomery. They could have done it with Justin, but Justin is new. If he had reached, he's a rookie, so he got to learn to do that extra reach when you're going for that to get those yards, sneak those in, to make sure you get it so that we weren't inches off. But our quarterbacks can't combine, or if Justin was in the whole time, can't combine to almost the yardage of your running back.
That's a valid point. Anything on those stats, Plank, that stand out to you offensively for the Bears?
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be unpopular, and that's okay. I'm not the most popular guy all the time anyway. Justin Fields had a 27 passer rating. That's pretty abysmal. I mean, I know he's a rookie. I know he's just put in the game. There were drop passes and everything like that, but he's got to play better as well. It's Justin Fields' time, so now we handed him the reins. He's got to do his part as well. So I didn't realize he was that poorly rated in his passing today, coupled with the interception as well as the fumble. There's nothing but more opportunities for him to do better. But he's definitely got to take that under his own reins.
Yeah, but some of those passes should have been called. That wasn't on him.
I agree, but we judge you based on what the score is, not what should have happened, right?
It's a team sport.
I agree.
So your team got to do their part too.
Yeah,
I also agree. Okay.
Yeah, and you know what? And drop passes are actually momentum killers as well. Especially, I mean, like I said, Allen Robinson, that was poor concentration on his part, because I originally in the when the play was live, I actually thought the ball was deflected, but it actually was not deflected. He just flat out dropped the ball. But anyway, I like to apologize that Jay had to get off. He was at the game, so he was on his way home, so he was having signal problems, and also Guy is out bowling, and he's having a signal problem. But the three of us, we're going to take this to the finish line today. So, hey, how do you...
Not bowling underhanded or overhanded?
What's that, Tammy?
Did you see Dino's comment, though, before this one?
What's that?
Great point.
Plank with the grade?
Yes.
Did you see his comment, Plank?
I did not. What was his comment?
He said at least should give him a C minus.
Okay, all right. We'll see. Maybe C minus. Okay.
Also, Dino said, Dino said, Tammy, when she's saying team, it is no matter who is the quarterback. That's correct.
I know. I didn't specify that it was just the team because Justin Fields was in. I was just saying that there were drop passes that should have been called that contributed to his rating not being so great.
Right.
I agree.
Yeah. So hey, how do you grade the defense today? You want to start off?
You asking me or Tammy?
You, Plank. You can start off as you. Defensive guru.
Okay, a defensive guru, all of that. I'm going to get a defense a B minus. Partly because I know we're high on the number of sacks that we got and interceptions, but the fundamental defense was really not very sound. You saw a lot of Joe Burrow's passes early on where there was a clear line to his receiver, and he was completing them every time he tried. Duke Shelley, I called him Juke Shelley because he was every time he went out there, Burrow just targeted whoever he was guarding, and a lot of times, to your point, Bernard, he wasn't even in the screen when you looked at it on the football. I mean, on the replay. So I'm excited about the victory and the interceptions and all of that, but the fundamental defense still has to get a lot better. So I gave them a B minus.
A B minus. What about you, Tammy?
I'll give the defense a B because they are the reason that we won this game. They really are. They y'all know Shelley. I was talking about him in the text. Shelley and Eddie Jackson. Who are they backups? Because let's just give somebody else an opportunity because they are just wasted space at this point in time. Eddie Jackson definitely he was still blowing coverages. and he was half playing. Yes, for a second I thought he showed up, but then I was like, oh no, he didn't. Quinn, I was like excited. I'm like, oh, he showed up to play, and then he made that bonehead move. But overall, the defense they got 3 picks. They scored. They were more aggressive, and I liked it. I mean, we still got room to continue to improve before we are truly back to being the monsters of the Midway. But I was excited about the defensive play today.
Yeah, I was excited too. I thought the defense did well today, comparatively speaking to last week. I get them a B, but there was some times in this game that Joe Burrow just misread the defense. Like there was one play where if he had went to, I believe it was Mixon, nobody covered Mixon.
Yeah, Roquan Smith let him go, didn't he?
Yeah, he just let him go. So they got lucky on that play. And then there was a few plays where you kind of had some missed tackles. Don't get me wrong, I'm praising the defensive performance, but I'm pointing out some of the stuff I did saw. And like Mike Alton would say, I seen Dookie shelling today. I mean, at one point it was just like whoever we want to get a catch right now, we'll just put Duke Shelley. We just put them on Duke Shelley's side so they could get their stats up. They were fortunate during those times that they were not able to put together any successful drives because Duke Shelley was like playing like Dookie Shelley, you know. But with all that said, the defense were the reasons why the Bears won today. There's no doubt there about that. If it was not for the defense, this game, the Bears wouldn't have had no more than about 10 points offensively. So they're going to have to improve that. But back to the defense, Robert Quinn, I don't know what happened to him today. He woke up today. Hopefully that's for the rest of the season. Because Robert Quinn hasn't did anything since he's been on the Bears.
Stealing money.
Mac put a lot of pressure on today. Also, not only that Roquan Smith, I don't know what the stat line was, but he also had a pick 6. It was good to see the big guy gallop down that sideline and get that touchdown.
Twinkle toes. There you go.
Right. Yeah.
And Duke Shelley and Eddie Jackson couldn't catch a hook on 47th Street.
Ow.
Ooh, that's rough.
Ow.
Hey, what we got for something to listen? What we got? Akeem was all over the field today. Dino said Akeem was all over the field. Akeem Hicks was all over the field. He was possessed like a madman. But I will say this about Akeem Hicks. He almost got us one more of those dumb plays. I think he kind of got away with it, but he actually pushed the quarterback down after he thrown it. I mean, I love his aggression, but once in a while, Akeem, you got to watch that.
Because he got a little passion.
Yeah, I have a problem with some of those calls as far as, the taunting or whatever. You can't take emotion out of the game.
Yes.
Here it is. Sometimes guys make a good play and they start clapping and they like, yeah, good play. And the next thing you know, the ref bail them out by calling taunting. That's kind of crazy. And it happened both ways. But, I'd like to see a little less of that because some of that wasn't even, in my opinion, really taunting. It's just, somebody saying, good play or whatever. So I'd like to see that go away from the game if we could, because I don't necessarily think taunting was a major issue over the last year anyway.
Yeah, I agree. In the NFL, they do throw the flag too much for stuff that's emotions. Now, what I do like that they have done in some instances is try to eliminate things that starts fights. Okay, some form of taunting, like a guy who's about to score, turning around, and he's walking in the last 5 yards, and he's fingering the guy, and, I'm about to score. Okay, that may lead to a fight. But hitting the guy hard and kind of like showing your emotions, I see nothing wrong with that. So the Bears did get fortunate in those situations where I think they had about 2 to 3 plays where they extended the drive on third down because there was either a taunting penalty or some kind of flag after the play was called dead. Do you think they over penalizing players for stuff like that, Tammy?
You know I do. I mean, this is football. This ain't chess. They're not supposed to sit there just all politely and whatnot. This football. There's supposed to be some smack talking. There's supposed to be some emotion. I'm like, come on, don't nobody want to sit there and watch a game where everybody's just super polite, and they don't have no fire. That's part of what makes the game exciting. I don't think clapping over somebody or saying, man, I got you. That's part of the game. Like, lighten up, let them play.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, Plank, I mean, I know talking was part of your game, but you could.
It
still is.
But Plank,
you're right. I don't know what I would do if I wasn't able to talk about somebody's mama and say, "Come on, man, how you expect to do this against me? What did you do against your coach, man? You must have made him mad."
Right. Now, let me clear that up. Plank could play some heck of football, but talking was part of his game, and you notice sometimes in the NFL, just guys just talking to each other after a play, they're ready to throw a flag. Like, what, you can't talk to a guy after the play? I mean, if you think about even going back to the Super Bowl, kind of straying off this topic a little bit, Tom Brady in one of the the Kansas City game? I can't remember which game it was.
The Honey Badger, yeah. Tyrann Mathieu.
Yeah, so basically they had an exchange like, I'm gonna be throwing your way all night now. I mean, what's wrong with that? Right? What's wrong with that? You burn a guy, and he getting pumped up about it, and and the quarterback say, "Hey man, you know what? I'm throwing to anybody you sticking now." Okay, think about it. That's what they was doing to Dookie Shelley today. They was like, "Hey, whoever you sticking, we gonna try to throw to him." Now, I don't know if the Bears started hiding him or because of additional defensive pressure or whatever happened, but the Bengals allowed themselves to get away from that game plan because that actually was working for them. They did actually get away from it because now when I think about that game, they ran the ball like there was no sense of urgency in that game. And they was playing into this game where the Bears was really barely beating them. 10-3 for a great deal of the game, and the Bengals was playing into that by running. Now, I know it was pressure on the quarterback as well, but they should have been picking on Duke Shelley. So the Bears defensively, they need to look at that with Duke Shelley because he was giving up some plays, and if they had better quarterback play today and had a little bit more time, they probably would have had one of those Terrell Owens moments when he played the Bears. I think it was his second year, and he had about like 21 catches or something.
Yeah, Bernard, one of the things that I noted is that the Cincinnati was running the ball within 5 minutes down 3 scores. That makes absolutely no sense. So, the Bears kind of let them off the hook by, the turnovers and everything like that. But Cincinnati took the clock out of the equation themselves. So, yeah, that didn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, it sure didn't. But
we probably will get a call about that Dookie Shelley.
I'm gonna get time.
Dookie stick, there it is.
Right.
Don't mess up George Duke's song like that. I'm just saying.
Right.
Yeah, right.
So, hey, what are any concerns going into next week game for the Bears? I forgot who's on the schedule.
Cleveland.
Okay.
Yeah, I got big concerns. First concern that I have is Eddie Goldman. I don't know what's been wrong with him the last couple of weeks or whatever, but we absolutely need him against Cleveland because Cleveland is definitely a powerhouse running team. So we need Eddie Goldman in that rotation, trying to stop the run and bringing that physicality to the defense. So Let's hope he's going to make it back. As far as from an offensive standpoint, Justin Fields got to look better. I know he's a rookie. I know he's got some butterflies going. He just needs to calm down a little bit. And he's a talented guy, so I have every confidence that he'll be able to do that. But again, I'd like to see it happen. You in the game now. It's time to put your big boy pants on. Let's see what you got.
Yeah, that's good. And you got any concerns as far as next week, Tammy?
Yeah, as much as I want to say that they're gonna win, I'm not gonna say what I think yet. I'm gonna have to go do some looking, but I'm really worried because Cleveland is tough this year, and they are probably only going to get better as they keep going. Our defense looked great today, for the most part, but I don't know who else do we have. I know we don't. I think Jalen Johnson needs to be moved up and needs to be the primary. I don't know who else we can get. But I just think that we really need to get away from thinking that, Eddie Jackson and Shelley can even be in there. Pull somebody else that maybe has some fire, who probably can't do any worse, than what he's doing, and give them some fire. They might have some motivation. We need somebody that wants to play, not somebody that's just halfway showing up, and sometimes not even halfway showing up. I'm not really that concerned about Justin Fields because I think he'll find his rhythm if he's not just pulled in for a play or two, if it's actually his game and he's owning it. And I agree with Jay. I think if he actually gets to practice all week with the wide receivers that he's going to be throwing to, that they can find where he places the ball and they can get comfortable and confident with where he places the ball. And I think that we have to not run away from our running game. We have a great running back in Montgomery. Leave him in there, stop putting in Williams, and make sure that we have a balanced game to even be able to actually compete in this game. Because it's not that I don't think we can compete. If we can have a balanced offense, Justin Fields finds his rhythm, connects with the wide receivers, and we use Montgomery the way that we should, we can compete as long as the defense shows up like they did today.
Okay, great points.
Good point.
What I like to do, I like to see I do have some concerns. I'm still concerned about the offense. Now, through 2 games, they have put up. They haven't really looked much better than they looked last year, where they had a hard time scoring. And right now, what I'm seeing through the 2 games is the offense just kind of like possessing the ball and kind of moving it down the field. But really, it's times where they're not really doing anything. You look on the stat line, you'll see stats. But if you watch the game, it really is not resulting into anything other than them kind of like burning time. So hopefully with a week of Justin Fields in practice, I hope the Bears make the decision right away. We don't need to wait on no MRI tests or whatever different tests for Andy Dalton. Just give him his clipboard. Thank you. That's it. I mean, there's no waiting on no tests and all that. Just get him in, get him a full week of practice. This is his team. And, that way he could kind of get his nerves settled some. I know he's an even kill guy, but this is a big stage. So who wouldn't be nervous? This is your first time. This will be your official first start. So I want to see the Bears be a little bit more explosive because that Cleveland Browns team could score. And if you come up in there and you thinking that you could just get 10 points offensively and think you're going to win, your defense better come through like they did today because you're not going to beat them with just 10 points offensively and without a great defensive performance complementing that. Any other concerns before we get to close out this show?
Just to be clear, I don't have a problem with Damon Williams spelling Montgomery up for a couple plays here and there. I think that actually helps make Montgomery a little bit stronger and fresher for the end of the game. I'd like to see Montgomery get more carries, but I really don't have a problem with 1 or 2 of those carries going to Williams.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Hey, Dino, we actually mentioned that Club Dub is back open.
Club Dub,
Yep. And it's gonna be full of defensive players today. But no, it's a team. It's a team, a victory, but the defense made sure that was a team victory. Hey, what's up, Mike? Quick. I thought you probably was still in Kansas. That's why I didn't get a chance to get you on today. But Mike said, good win. Make sure we add that W. Yeah, you know what? Let me add that W to you because I think I had you down. Well, no, you know what? You won in one. You won in one because you had picked the Bears to win last week.
I thought I picked the Rams to win, but I don't know.
Oh, let me see what I got Mike for. Hold on, let's go back because Mike just joined in the broadcast.
As far as more concerns, y'all know I'm concerned about Nagy. Like, I really wish, I do think that we would have a better opportunity to win if he give up the play calling. And I know a whole lot of people feel that way, but I'm going to say it all the time until hopefully they listen. Like, maybe you say it enough, they'll eventually hear you. Our offense moves better under Laser. And a lot of fans know that. I don't know why the ownership and the management don't know that. So if we really want to have a chance to win against Cleveland, then Laser has to have more input, ideally the primary input into how the offense moves.
I agree.
Yeah, that's a good point. And Tammy, and I think one of the things he's stuck on is like it's based in one of the comments he made early on when he said they didn't bring me here to run the I formation. So it's like he feel like he's something he needs to prove. Actually, they brought you here to coach this team.
Right.
And you put together a staff of people to help run a offense and who runs a defense and run special team. That's what you do as a head coach. Right. Now, sometimes you have good head coaches who are able to still call plays. In your case, you don't have enough experience calling plays, and you're doing a terrible job at it. So this may be the perfect time to just hand it over to Bill Laser and just let him call the offense. And the game runs better because I know Jay said something last week that was happening last year. The Bears had a whole lot of like false starts. They had a lot of like unsportsmanlike and roughing the pass, so stuff like that, stuff that happened after the play was over. But you noticed last year when he gave it over to Bill Laser, a lot of that stuff declined because why? The head coach is able to go over and talk to guys. Hey, what are you doing, etc. Because you're managing the whole game. But if you're just looking at the next play on your playbook or whatever, then sometimes you're just managing the quarterback or the next play and not the overall what's going on in the game. So hey, turn it over to Bill Laser. That's what you hired him for, and let this quarterback take over. And I guarantee you're going to see more points come out of the Bears offense. And let him take his deep shots. Right, he's going to make mistakes. That's part of it. That's how you learn. Yes. Okay. He threw the pick today. That happens. I know he'll probably say, I'd never do that again. You will do it again. This is part of it. This is how you learn, and then you start learning how to manipulate the defense. That's the growth from college to the pros. Right. But I'd like to thank everybody who's watching us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch TV. What you have, Plank?
No, that was it. I was just agreeing with you.
Okay.
Yes, I would say Nagy has way too much ego for somebody who has 1 year as an offensive coordinator.
And that 1 year, yeah, right. And then even that first year he came to the Bears, he had a few games that it looked like it was going to be exciting. But really what it was teams were trying to figure out what the Bears were doing. And plus, the defense was so good that year, you could take chances on some plays that you can't take chances on now in a close game. When your defense is getting you turnovers and you're able to score on short fields, kick field goals, then you could run some shuttle passes on the goal line. You could take some chances on plays that you normally may not insert in the game. So Nagy he's been more bad as a offensive coordinator than good. So turn it over to somebody. Turn it over to somebody who at least have a proven track record. And guess what? You could do what Nagy always do. if it at the end of the season, if it doesn't look good, guess what he does? He fires somebody else to make it look like it was their fault.
Right. Before I get out of here, good job today to Sean Desai. He definitely did correct a lot of those problems that were happening from the defense this week.
Oh, he sure did. He sure did. It wasn't all those busted coverages and all that. But anyway, thank everybody for tuning in today to watch Bears Banner. Sorry that Jay had to get off early. He was at the Bears game, so he had to make his way to his house. And also, Guy was at a bowling competition, throwing those gutter balls, But anyway, thank everybody for watching. See you on Friday. Peace.
Peace.